grew up Jehovah's Witness, so different religious background there. It was a little confusing at times. It was like I felt like I had to do a lot to like earn God's favor. We'd win a lot and everything, but I don't know, I never like felt right about it. So, by the time we got to middle school, we kind of stopped going on a regular basis. Like we'd only go for specific times, like to kind of have a convention and assemblies and things like that. But that would be about it. So then, yeah, so that was bulk of high school. I was just in a relationship, living in sin continually.
When I grew up, my parents were not really religious. We didn't go to church. We didn't talk about God or anything of like that nature. It wasn't until I started going to a babysitter's house in second grade where they were very into reading the Bible, going to church, praying, and it was all very new to me, but I also really enjoyed it. I enjoyed hearing about the stories in the Bible, and I liked going to church and going to Sunday school, so it was kind of a good experience, and I did that up until middle school. But then once I got to high school, I kind of drifted away from that family. My parents didn't talk about God, so it wasn't anything at home getting re-brought up or learned, so I kind of just completely drifted away from God. I had it in the back of my mind, but it wasn't something I thought about regularly. And then once I got in high school, I got into like a different crowd, which was into smoking weed, going to parties, and growing up in Kent, you are in a college town as a high schooler, you kind of find your way into college life as a high schooler, which had its downfalls because I would go to parties. So by then, that was kind of where things started to go really downhill for my life. Once we got into college, we both went to the University of Akron, so that's kind of where we met. We started hanging out more, and we were just kind of friends that hung out, had sex, smoked weed, did other drugs, drank, all that kind of thing. But we weren't actually like in a relationship, just kind of living, and we were both kind of doing our own thing with other people too. So that was very like, just not Christ-like at all, obviously. But eventually we started talking about God and religion, and some sort of those conversations started coming up just because he grew up so different, and I think that really sparked those bigger conversations.
So then those conversations kept going. You started going to the campus focus at the chapel in Akron and stuff, so you come back home and just be talking about things. And so my background being so different, I was like, kind of noticing some differences in there. So then summer 2018, we found ourselves watching a Christian film, God's Not Dead, which it was kind of intriguing because I was just like, well, I believe that God's real. Of course he's not dead. So I was wondering what they were getting at. So then watched the movie, kind of like it hit all the main points of the gospel and everything. And I was like, it's that simple, because I grew up so different from like just kind of this simplicity of things. It wasn't like, oh, you just accept Christ and that's it. Like I was like, that blew my mind. I was like, whoa, there's no way. So we just sat there. I prayed, and she led me in that, and then I was like, I don't feel anything. Right? I don't know. I didn't know what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, some magical thing to happen. But over time, like I started to feel like the spirit more of just like things we were doing and like the life that we were living. I was like, I don't feel good about this anymore. Like I don't like that. It's not just like so carefree and like thoughtless as it used to be.
I recommitted my life back to Christ. Jalil had accepted Christ. I reached out for some help to get into those tougher questions, to like guide us in this, next step in our life. We didn't really know what we were doing. We didn't know how to read a Bible. We didn't really know what it meant to be living for Christ. So I reached back out to my babysitter and her husband, and they began like mentoring us weekly. So we started going over there every week to read the Bible, answer questions that we had, learn about just living life as a Christian now. And then in turn that led us to, stop having sex before marriage, stop doing the things that we were doing prior to accepting Christ. Then from there, we actually kind of just decided, we want to get married. We want to really like glorify God in the way we're living
Yeah.
and choose marriage. And so we ended up getting married within like a month after we decided that. And we had like a little small wedding, and my babysitter and her husband basically did a fast pace premarital counseling with us. They ended up recommending us check out Redemption because they were good friends with Rick and Jared. So that's when we started coming to Redemption.
Started serving, like with the middle schoolers and everything, because we felt like we wanted to do something. Then, baptism came up, and I was like, you know what, yeah, I want to get baptized too. So I ended up getting baptized that December. So, married, new church, got baptized, and then just serving, and just started to grow a lot more in our faith and everything.
Well, I'll say like coming to Redemption, it just has been like, a different perspective on church and what it means to live for Christ every day. Because it's just, it isn't all about being perfect. It isn't all about being like this perfect Christian. You can't be messy. You can't be like still figuring it out. And I think that helps because we came from like where we didn't really know what we were doing, but we wanted we wanted Jesus, but we just didn't know how that looked. And like coming here, it was like more open and more like, okay, they want to help us grow.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's only been about three years or so that I have genuine faith, and so it's just like every single day, you wake up like with like that purpose of, like if I need to get into the Bible, I need to get into the Word, I need to pray, I need to keep that relationship going because that's become truly vital for surviving.
Like growing up, like there was like, I thought I knew what it meant to follow Christ. I thought I understood the gospel, but I really didn't understand the true like magnitude of what it meant until now. And then I feel like now, like I want to live this way, not to like say, oh, I'm a good Christian, but because like I want to grow closer to Christ. I want to grow in that relationship, and I want to reflect that to others around me and show them love that God showed me in my life and in our life.
We are the Hayes.
And this is our redemption story.